Okay, so everybody that's joined, welcome to our monthly webinar and training meeting. Today, I have the pleasure of having Jennifer Mock, who's the director of Buy Idaho. One of the kind of fun facts is today is her 10-year anniversary. So she's been with Buy Idaho for 10 years. I'm a member of the organization, but Buy Idaho's main mission is to develop businesses. Jennifer happens to be on the board with Boise Impact Group, which also helps businesses grow and hit that next level. And Jennifer's tremendous asset to not only Idaho and businesses in Idaho, and bringing her here today is going to help us learn some things that we can do to not only improve our business, but also network. And so with that, Jennifer, I'm going to put myself on mute, allow you to introduce yourself, and then share your screen as you present.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Like you said, my name is Jennifer Mock. I am the director of Buy Idaho, which is the statewide Shop Local Business Alliance. So local businesses can join and we help connect them to the community, to resources. We're kind of an extended business team. So a lot of times we work with young entrepreneurs and people that are just setting out into starting their businesses and don't even know where to go, what the resources are, how to start, and how to then get their businesses out to the community. So that's a lot of what we focus on. We do some pretty big events. We have a wholesale market. We do the Capitol show inside the state capitol. We print a directory and we mail them around so that everybody can kind of be connected and know who's local, so that they're hopefully working with one another. And that kind of leads me into the presentation of, why Mike asked me to come and talk, because when he was starting his practice, how do you get out to the community and how do you eliminate the mystery behind PIs? So I'm going to share my screen now. Tell me if I'm good. Am I good?
Yep, there it is. Your first slide is visible.
Perfect. Thank you. So there's a little bit about me. There's my contact information. If you're in Idaho and you want to learn more about the organization, or if you need any resources, feel free. If you're not in Idaho, you can still reach out to me and I can see what I can do to help you if you are interested in any of this information. So beyond the case. So building your local connections is really what we're going to be focusing on, and how you do that, how you kind of take the mystery of what you guys do out of your profession. Because I know when I met Mike, I did not understand everything that he was capable of. It seemed inaccessible, unattainable, and why would I use him just as a business person, layman in the community? It seemed something that was so far removed from what I would need in my world. So what does your community think that a PI does? Like the questions that I would ask Mike was, so do you follow people? Do you sit in cars? Like, are you in disguises? It was really a mystery to us and our entire network of what a PI actually did. So you guys are going to get questions when you start going to the community and explaining that you are a PI, and it's intriguing for most people. They're lighthearted questions, but they usually show how much mystery still surrounds what private investigators actually do. So taking the mystery out of it, people easily connect with familiar professionals like CPAs and attorneys, realtors. There's a direct connection to what they do. CPAs, they handle your books and your taxes. Realtors, they do property transactions. And, the question then is like, what is a PI and what do private investigators actually do? So when someone faces a workplace issue or fraud, missing persons, legal investigations, they may not think of a private investigator. They may think immediately that they have to call the police or hire an attorney, or, they jump to the ones that are very well known in the community. The goal is to make private investigator professionals as easy to understand and recall as these other trusted roles. Have you guys come across that, where people don't understand what you're doing? Yeah. So what can a PI bring to the table? With businesses, one of the things that we have done is employee investigations, fraud and theft, workplace concerns, due diligence, and corporate investigations. So when I am introducing Rossi investigations to people and business owners specifically, these are the things that we try to break down so that they don't think that it's just a cheating husband or a spouse or a wife, or it goes way beyond that. Litigation support, witness location, evidence gathering, surveillance, and insurance investigations. And then for people, helping with background checks and missing persons, location services, and personal investigations. So, if you have a question about somebody, oftentimes business owners specifically, which is in the realm that we're talking, they go to the other paid professionals that they think can help them and bypass private investigators just because of the mystery. So how do you get involved in your community? If you guys want to raise your hand or give me a thumbs up, are any of you involved with your chambers of commerce or your shop local organizations or business alliances other than private investigator organizations? So joining your chamber of commerce and business associations are where local business owners gather and share their concerns and build trust. These groups create natural opportunities to listen and learn and become known as a reliable source in your area. Oftentimes, it's not about the hard ask of the sale and selling it. It's about becoming trusted. So professional organizations and economic development groups will connect you with decision makers in the community who influence businesses. Showing up positions you as part of a local ecosystem rather than just an outsider. Networking groups and downtown organizations keep you close to the heartbeat of the community. The question to ask is simple: where are the conversations already happening in your community, and how can you become a part of them? So joining, getting involved, and becoming a familiar face so that you're not such a mystery to people when they have an issue. So what if a PI became a part of those conversations, from a cold handoff to genuine conversations? Imagine a business owner wrestling with an employee issue, and instead of "here's my card, call me when you need me," you say, "tell me more, I may be able to help." Becoming a referral system for your community is huge. So networking, building your referral group so that you do have trusted CPAs. I mean, do your own background checks on them, right? So you know who you're referring out. But attorneys, not every job is for a PI. So having those trusted individuals that you are familiar with will help allow you to become a trusted individual in the community. And that small shift turns a transaction into trust and makes a PI a natural part of the community and the conversation. Sidebar, when Rossi Investigations came to us, we started getting really creative with business owners and introducing Mike to people. We didn't know necessarily if he could help them directly, but it helped us understand what he was doing when he said, "No, but I know somebody else," or, "Sure, I can help you." It helped us kind of frame it in our mind so that we knew where to refer him best. Excuse me. So the PI resource hub. So this is really the best place for you guys to be, is being a resource hub. So knowing the attorneys, the CPAs, the HR professionals, insurance, IT security, the bankers, business brokers, realtors, other investigators. Some people are not all investigators are made equally. I'm sure that that's just like, every other profession, that you guys specialize in certain things. And then joining your community organizations. You don't have to be the answer. And this is something that, just networking in general and building community in general. You don't have to know everything or be the answer, but it's really cool when you're the person who knows somebody, that you can really give a trusted referral. So build your trust by being the person who knows where to find the answers. Sometimes the best thing you can say is, "You should really talk to an employment attorney. I know one. That's outside my specialty, but I know another investigator who does that." Being honest about what you do and building the trust rather than pretending that you can do it all. We all have imposter syndrome to some extent, and I definitely do, because I work with 1,500 businesses across the state of Idaho. There is no way that I can know every industry that I work with, but I can know enough to be dangerous, and a little bit helpful and resourceful in referring people out. So referrals are never lost opportunities. They're investments in the relationships that you have in the community. When people learn that they can come to you for honest guidance, even when the answer points to somebody else, you become someone that they trust long before they ever need your services, which is what you definitely want. You want people to trust you long before they use you. So becoming a resource, start by simply answering questions and making introductions to people. Most people won't know what a PI can do until someone tells them. A quick answer or a thoughtful referral can turn a casual contact into a lasting relationship. Explain the investigation basics. This has been super fun for me to learn about. I being in my role for 10 years, I'm very connected in the community, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. I cannot go to Albertsons without makeup on. So I know too many people, and so I have to always be on my best behavior. However, being asked like information about people in the community is kind of a fun part of, Rossi Investigations and I's relationship, because I'm like, oh yeah, I know them. So explaining investigation basics to people, offering clear, jargon-free explanation of what investigative work actually involves. When people understand the basics, they're more likely to think of you when a situation arises and more comfortable referring you to others. And then helping figure out the next step. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can do with someone is to help them figure out the next step rather than blowing smoke, right? Like even if it's not hiring you, telling them where that they need to go so that they're getting the correct resources. All right, taking the mystery out through education. When should a business consider hiring a PI? Help audiences recognize the warning signs, unexplained losses in your business, inconsistent employee behavior, missing assets, or due diligence gaps. Position a PI as a practical resource before problems escalate. And that's something that I think that we didn't realize that Mike could do, or that Ross, private investigators could do. Help people before things escalate and then they have to go hire, big CPA firms and attorneys and, lawyers if there's theft and whatnot. So really just being an addition to a business owner and helping them get through the weeds. So what do you do when you suspect employee theft? Walk business owners through calm, legal, and discreet first steps. Document patterns, secure evidence, review policies, make sure you have policies, and bring in an investigator early to protect the company and the team. Understanding workplace investigations and fraud, demystify the process behind internal investigations, because it sounds scary when people say that there's an internal investigation, right? Everybody will clam up and not want to be a part of it, but sometimes it's better to have somebody at the ground level coming in and helping you figure out what it is. So fraud detection, compliance concerns, and leaving listeners thinking, I didn't realize PIs could do that. So, I would think that the biggest hurdle is you guys are always working. And so how do you get to the community so that you can make all of this not such a big mystery? And so it's by having a referral circle, being the person who knows where to find the answers. Your referral network creates a loop where business owners, attorneys, CPAs, HR professionals, whichever, professionals in your community are best suited for you, that they know exactly where to send people. And then you also know where to send people. So having that reciprocity in relationships is really huge. When you become a connector, every conversation becomes a chance to build trust and share resources and keep your name at the top of their mind. So where do PI referrals really come from? Other trusted professionals. Again, this is just building your community and your network, not just with attorneys and police and the people that are already in the realm that you're in, but really branching out to other members of the community because they have businesses and they're out networking. So it's hard for people to always talk about their own business. So it's really cool when they say, hey, have you met, so-and-so? Do you know what they do? Like Rossi Investigations? He's out, he's working on, these cases, I saw him in public and he had a hat on, and I didn't know if he was undercover, so I didn't say anything, which actually happened. We saw Mike at a restaurant, and we didn't say hi because we didn't know if he was if he was undercover. And then we were quickly educated that that was not what was happening. So business connections, business owners meet at local events, other investigators with different specialties, community professionals, all represent real referral pathways. Often the best lead is just one relationship removed. And if you're from Idaho, you know, or live in Idaho, you know that Idaho is very small. It is like 1 degree of Kevin Bacon. It is not 6 degrees. It is 1 degree. Like you end up being related to pretty much everybody in the state after living here for 25 years. So, sorry, I went too fast. So, one relationship away, most referrals don't come from direct sales. Direct asks and cold things, they don't work, especially in our community. It is all about building relationships here. They come from people who understand what you do and trust you enough to introduce you, and do it in a casual way, and because they know you personally. So, different ways to think about networking. Who are the people in this room? What do they do? Shifting focus from selling to curiosity opens the door for genuine professional relationships. What can I learn from them? You know, a big thing that I teach my business owners is lead with service. You know, don't lead with the hard sell. Don't be a slimy, car salesman. Like, let me, I got a watch. You want a watch? You don't gain trust in the community that way. So every conversation is a chance to discover expertise and perspectives and opportunities you might never have found on your own. So who might they need to know? So asking the questions, what's going on in your life? Where are you? Who can I introduce you to? How can I serve you? When you become the person who makes helpful introductions, you create value far beyond any single transaction. And I threw Buy Idaho in here just because, that's what I do. So Buy Idaho is an example. We're a statewide business alliance. Like I said, we have about 1,500 businesses across the state of Idaho. And this is a great way if you're not in Idaho or in the Treasure Valley where we are a hub, finding a chamber, finding a business alliance or a networking group that you can be a part of. There's lots of different kinds. There's BNIs that are really referral based. I mean, you will referral yourself out of, being able to actually do any kind of work. But there are great organizations in every community that you should be a part of. Go to the networking, go shake hands, kiss babies, all the things. Just get your face out there and demystify who you are and that you're not always in disguise and sitting in a car down the street with a newspaper. So Buy Idaho is a real world example of how a local business alliance can help build visibility. We do an online directory. We have a printed directory, which, we send out about 30,000 of these across the state with local businesses in them so that people can know that there's a trusted source for people that are actually local. And that you're using your neighbor and it's somebody in your community. You're not getting somebody that just has our area code phone number in this book. Like these are people that are actually rooted here. So find, one of those organizations in your community. There's a ton. And if you're here in Boise, the Treasure Valley, come to mine because they're fun. And we enjoy having all sorts of people in them. So we're a resource hub the same. So when I'm telling you to go out and do these things, I mean, Buy Idaho is really the center of this resource hub as well. So, we have business owners and attorneys and CPAs and HR, insurance, marketing, IT, banking, real estate. Anytime anybody comes to us for any part of their business needs, we have connections in the community. Our organization has been around since 1986. So it is deeply rooted in this community, and our connections are decades old. And then me being here for 10 years, it's whatever you need. I often feel like somebody on a New York street. Like, do you need a watch? Do you need a t-shirt? Do you need a CPA? You need a cartridge for your printer? Like, I got a guy. So, but being that person and people knowing that they can call you for those things, and it's really, you're a trusted individual. So what does getting involved really look like? Start by showing up where the business communities already gather, attend local business events, join by Idaho or a Chamber of Commerce, offer to speak to the business groups about what a PI actually does. I think that's going to be a big part of it. And go a step deeper than attendance, serve on your committees, support local nonprofits, look for ways to contribute your time, even if it's pro bono work for, nonprofits or things that are really, big in your community. Offer up your expertise and really get connected in your community. Build relationships through small, consistent actions, make introductions between people who should know each other. And even if it's not for specific work, but sometimes I meet people and I'm just like, I don't know why, but you two should know each other because you're going to make magic somewhere in the world. Um, and then just keep showing up so that you become a familiar face and that people are naturally drawn to you. Your community is full of potential resources. Think about the business owners in your community when they face a tough situation, employee issues, fraud, legal, who are they going to call? Who's the first person that's on their list? A private investigator can be one of those trusted contacts, but only if people actually understand what it is you do and feel comfortable personally reaching out to you. So consider those questions. Who would you want to know if you were running a business and hit a difficult problem? How many people in your community already know what a PI does? How many would think of you when a friend, colleague, or client needed help? Connection starts with being visible and approachable and clear about the value that you bring. And then the lead generation formula. I'm sure if you guys have been running your own businesses for a while, you understand lead gen, but visibility and understanding. People know you exist and know what you do. When your community clearly understands the value you bring, you become a recognized resource before a case ever arises. Build your relationships and trust. Get to know you and feel comfortable recommending you. Genuine connections replace a cold pitch. I mean, all day long, all day long. Making referrals feels natural rather than forced. Referrals, if your name comes up naturally when somebody needs help, like you've won, right? It's not about selling, it's about being known, trusted, and easy to remember at the right moment. So this is my challenge to you guys. So if you are not currently involved in any groups or networking or community alliances, challenge you for 1 month of consistent outreach. So in 30 days, if after 30 days, would you have 5 more people who truly understood what a PI does and when to call? So, meet 5 local business owners, have 5 genuine conversations, make 3 useful introductions for those people that you just met, and then try to attend one event where you speak and actually explain what your profession does and all of the ways that you can be an asset to your community. The bigger idea is the resource and referral network. Your local business community is more than a contact list. It's a living resource network. When people know what you do and trust your expertise, you become the person they recommend before a problem becomes urgent. Use your chamber events and association meetings and casual introductions as every chance to educate people. Explain when you can help and when you can't. Answer questions openly and point people to the right expert, even when the expert is not you. Relationship builder before clients. The strongest referrals come from relationships built long before someone needs your service. So show up, listen, invest in your community first, and create trust. And the trust and all of that will come back to you. So here's my information. Be known before you're needed is my whole spiel today. So get connected, share what you know, learn what others do, make introductions, be a part of your community, and then let the relationships take it from there. So
Jennifer, great job. I wanted to kind of highlight a couple things on your slide. Um, there's an old saying that says, and I think you mentioned it when we first met, the time to build a relationship with the bank is not on the day that you need the loan. And your presentation is reminding us that if you're not already ahead of the game by networking, by talking, by being there, the day you need it, the day you need that job to fill in whatever, or the day you need a resource, it's not there for you because you haven't built it in. Can you talk about times where you have known that and applied it and then shown some of the results that came from knowing that network is important and then what happened that helped you when you needed that help?
when I needed that help, well, you and I are going to
Mhm.
have a conversation when we're done here. Because I think I taught myself something that I might need to be calling you first. Um, but really, like we have, By Idaho is a very, it's a very small nonprofit, right? There, I'm the only employee. Greta is my assistant, or not my assistant. She's my coworker. She's actually in Puerto Rico right now, but like we work together. But she's a contractor, right? Like we're a small organization, and we have a really large footprint. So I have to build these relationships in the community. I mean, I was telling Mike before we got on, like we trade for our Wi-Fi. So they put a repeater on our roof so that we can get free Wi-Fi, because that money that I'm spending is going into resources for our businesses. So I have connections that are so deep and supporting our organization, relationships that I've built over 10 years that help keep us afloat. And um, they often will come in and save us. I mean, we have, God, it's endless. We have a partnership with the newspaper, right? That helps us get out our our guide. They help us put this together. They help us with our ad space. I mean, we have a PEO company that helps us with our HR in case any, any members that are a member like have any issues. We have this referral network that there's somebody at your fingertips as soon as you need it. And on the lighter side of it, not just the negative parts of it, right? I was meeting with one of our cookie companies last night, and her dream is she just opened up a food truck. I mean, her dream is to have commercial kitchen fronts, multiples for people with business spaces in the back, and then a car wash where all of the rigs could get like hosed down. And I said, well, what's going to get you there? And she said, I don't know. I would love for my cookies to go nationwide. And I said, what's the shelf life on them? And she said, 2 months. And I said, okay. So I connected her with the Boise airport this morning. So we're going to attempt to get her cookies at the Boise airport and in the concessions so that they can, because I took it literally, like physically, her cookies can go nationwide if they're at the airport. And so hopefully that helps her get her product out there. So it's, that kind of support and connection. I don't get paid anymore for doing that. She's still paying, she's a veteran, so she's still paying, $185 a year for her membership here. But that's probably that return is going to have her talking about By Idaho in the community for years to come, because if this is the step that helps her scale, she's going to be forever grateful. And then I'm going to be super thrilled that her cookies are in Georgia. Like that's super cool. So,
I know that we have some, we had a chat question, but does anybody want to, because we answered it, the chat question got answered in the presentation. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask Jennifer while she's available to us? You- You're getting off easy, Jennifer. I'm going to ask you another question. All
okay.
right. So I met Jennifer originally not through PI Business. Do you remember how we met?
Yes.
We were working on correctional
Originally,
industry.
or the second time?
Well, no, that's I mean correctional industry. So this is part of that networking and why I'm really appreciate your info here is I worked in correctional industries in a sales role, and that's how I met Jennifer. Our organization was 2 years from we were 2 years behind, if you recall. Remember, and I called and I said, "What's By Idaho?" And we had this conversation. And right out of the gate, it was okay. Well, we need to repair our relationship. And so we did with correctional industries. And then you started getting us to events. Jennifer's connection originally led to my $800,000 sale on a situation with correctional industries. And it was because we just kind of learned to connect and we were dialoguing. And she says, I saw a need and connected. So these real connections occurred. And then when I left correctional industries and then I started my own business, I did what Jennifer asked and attended an event. I didn't know she was going to be there, but it was, what was that? It was the
I'd hope
connect.
purchasing,
Yes, it was the connect with the local businesses reverse vendor trade show.
reverse vendor trade show. Mhm.
And I went with somebody in the or in the surveillance industry. And there's Jennifer. And then pretty quick, we're connected again. And then it's that much easier. And since then, it's just been super successful. I am an introvert. I don't like to do it. Um, and so I rely on experts like Jennifer and community organizers that really are good at it. And they force me out of my shell. So, Jen, in your experience, how many folks that are part of these networks are actually outgoing, and how many really need your kind of influence and other folks' kind of influence to pull them out of their comfort zone? Because I know I'm one of those.
Well, and I'm one of them too, right? I mean, like you and I gel on this all the time, is that I'm actually very shy. And I mean, like I was so nervous. I get so nervous to even do things like this. I don't know why people keep giving me a microphone to like publicly speak, because I really don't like it. However, I'm passionate about this, and this is something that I really truly believe in. So it helps me step out of my comfort zone. And I believe that that's what business owners, I mean, you're in business as an entrepreneur or in this realm because you believe in it. You have a passion about it, right? And in those networking settings, we're not talking about your deepest darkest secrets, right? So like you can kind of have a little bit of a mask on with that and put on your business hat, and it makes it easier to go out and communicate when you're knowledgeable about something, when you believe it, when you have, your whole being is put behind it. You can speak passionately about what you're doing, and it's not so personally revealing, right? I mean, because we all don't want to be, stripped down in public, but we want to be, like, and that's where that imposter syndrome comes from too, right? Like, especially if you're newer at your job, you have to go out there and fake it and be like, I am the best at this. And so owning it, having passion behind it, and having finding the right network for you. Not every organization is built for everybody. I mean, I've tried going to BNIs, they don't work for me. I don't want the stress of having to provide 7 referrals every time I go to a networking event. I'm busy, you know. That's why our networking that I put on is always very casual. We get about 50 to 70 people that come, but it's frequent visitors. So, and we only do them once a quarter, so there's not a lot of pressure. You come, you have a drink if you want to, you don't have to. Most people do, and you just chat, you get to know each other, and there's not a hard sell on business at all. It's getting to know each other personally.
Did Pat, I know you had said valuable info. Pat is our president of the Private Investigator Association of Idaho. I certainly want to give her an opportunity to not only speak to the group, but also weigh in on some of the things that you might want with this presentation. So, Pat, you're on mute, Pat. Here. There you are. We
How
can
am
hear
I?
you.
Good?
Yep.
Yep.
Good. Technology and me. Anyway, Jennifer, this was, I have to be honest, it was a lot more informative than I thought it was going to be. Thank you. Not only for our association and thinking about the overall umbrella association of the Private Investigators Association of Idaho, but actually for each of the individual businesses that make up our membership. It's really, really valuable information, and I thank you. I can't wait to get it up on our YouTube channel and also share it with all of our members.
Well, good. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad. This is when I work with businesses, these are the fundamentals that we try to make sure that they're all doing, so that we're having a community rather than just, a bunch of businesses in silos.
Yeah. We have no employees, and so our board is a working board, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And each of us wear different hats, and it's always a challenge to strike that balance. But using your visuals that you explained to us today goes a long way. Thanks for that.
You bet. I appreciate you guys having me.
All right, so we're coming down to giving the time back to the folks that have attended, and we appreciate you guys joining. Before we close, is anybody else have questions, thoughts, or want to make sure, as usual, these things are available on our website so that you will be able to get connected with Jennifer if you'd like, or get connected to each other. And certainly, you can reach out to me and send me an email, say, hey, I really appreciate it. Can I get a slide or two or some of this information? With that, Jennifer, last words, anything you want to add before we close our meeting for today?
No, just thank you for having me. And if you guys have any questions or want to know anything more about networking in your community or resources in general at all, even to run your businesses, give me a call.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer, and thanks, team, and everybody for showing up today. It was
Thank you,
terrific.
Jennifer.
All righty.
Thank you.
You guys have a great day.